Good day everyone. So yeah, I am Ashraf A. Ismail, and in this video we will discuss the grading and reporting. So we cannot blame students and parents for their grade consciousness. Ours is still a world that puts emphasis on grades. When you enroll in a college course, you have to meet a minimum minimum grade point average that is required. When you apply for and enjoy a scholarship grant, you have to meet a maintain certain grade and scholarship grant. You have to meet and maintain certain grade, and when you apply for a job, you have to present your grades because all the things that people ask, grades are always a part. So from the word grade, so 'di ba, like we students, we always worry about our grades kasi if ever na maliit ang grades natin, so it's possible na hindi tayo papasa, hindi tayo makaka-move in the next year, hindi tayo makaka-move sa grade level natin, and we must stuck in our grade, and also pwede natin din mabalikan. So 'di ba, lahat ng students is worry about that, like ayaw nila na makabalik sila sa kanilang year level. So the grade should be higher. It should not be a failing grade. Teacher does not explain well. Teacher does not accept a project submitted an hour or so after his, and deadline. So this is the complaints come in this. So this is the complaints na always natin nare-receive. So therefore, grading and reporting as a way of communicating assessment results should never be taken for granted. So we have the seven things. So seven things to consider discussing with your students before assessing by Babowski 2007. So the first one is explain where the test fits in the bigger picture. So any given test or assessment is just one piece of their overall progress as a students. So this one test in this one day is not the sole measure of their potential or their futures. So in this number one, it says that hindi nasusukat yung test na gagawin natin ngayon sa future natin. So yeah, there is, this one test in this one day is not the sole measure of their potential or their future, which is the students. So the next one is share how the test result will affect their overall class grade. So in this number two, students are unaware why they are being tested or why the teachers need the data they are looking for. Is it going to be used for setting student or class goals, establishing a grade, or for placement purposes? So this share this information with your students before the test so that they will understand clearly what the test score will mean to them. So before you're conducting a test or assessment tool, or yeah, before you conducting, so you must tell them kung gaano ba ka-importante yung makukuha nilang score. Like for example, nagpa-quiz ako. So, yung makukuha niyong score is babase para tumaas ang grades nyo, or let's say ang hindi magte-take ng quiz is walang attendance, so parang ganun. So, yeah. So, the third one is the preempt questions about what their data will look like and who will be seeing it. So depending on the age of your students, you should consider sharing with them what results you'll be receiving after the test, what results they as students will receive, and what will be shared with their parents. So yeah, after the you should consider sharing with them what result you will be receiving after the test. So yeah. So the fourth one is take the fear out of the testing jargons. So words like evaluate, criteria, evidence, and scores can be scary for some students. While they may seem obvious and interchangeable to you as a teacher, it can help students if you explain these terms to them and set their minds at case. So, di ba, meron talagang mga estudyante na natatakot sa mga scores nila, like paano ka mag-evaluate, paano ka mag-give ng comments. So marami talagang students na natakot doon, and you should take the fear and fear out of the testing jargon. So yeah. So the fifth one is clarify the testing environment. So some students are less familiar than others when it comes to testing and how testing schedules can interrupt a given week. So providing a better clarification can help alleviate student stress. Let them know if it will be a one-day test or if it will over a period of days. So yeah, provide insights into breaks, whether they can use the restrooms and what they should bring with them on testing days. So before ka halimbawa summative test, so you should tell them like magagamit natin dito yung law of preparedness. So meron yan sa ating professional education ang law of law of preparedness, like tell them before the test, like ito dalhin nyo is lapis at saka eraser lang. So dapat you should tell them that you should clarify the testing environment. So the sixth one is make any transition to computers or tablets easy. So if there is a computer lab being used as a part of the testing process, be sure they know where the lab is, how the computer will be used as part of the test, and how to log in. So yeah, if you were integrate the test with the technology, like let's say the computers or tablets, so dapat na-explain mo muna kung paano siya gamitin, kung paano siya magla-login, kung paano gamitin yung computer before mo ipapatest sa kanila. Kasi if ever na hindi nila alam, kung hindi mo sinabi sa kanila, paano nila malalaman yun? Paano sila makakapag-login? Paano nila i-on yung computer? So you make sure that they know how to use the computers or tablets if you were using technology as a test tool. Yeah. So the last one is the provide the dates of the next assessment. So let's say, di ba pagpatapos na yung classes, di ba may mga teachers na sinasabi, okay, ito sa Monday mag-quiz tayo. So dito is magagamit rin natin ng law of preparedness, which is dapat sasabihan mo na yung mga estudyante mo na may magagawin kayo in the next day or in the next week para malalaman nila, like hindi sila magliga. Kasi ayoko talaga ng surprise quiz kasi that is so, like ang pangit nun. Like pagpasok pala ng estudyante, so okay mag-quiz tayo agad, like walang law of preparedness, which is meron yun sa professional education. So the next one is the functions of grading and system. Functions of grading and reporting systems. So the first one is enhancing students' learning. So through clarifying instructional objectives for them, showing students' strengths and weaknesses, providing information on personal social development, enhancing students' motivation, like for example, short-term goals, and indicating where teaching might be modified. So this can be achieved through day-to-day test and feedback and integrated periodic test. So you should enhance the students' learning. Like for example, yun ang banggit natin kanina, so you can apply that. Like grading and reporting system. So you have to enhance the students' learning. So the next one is reports to parents and guardians. So grading and reporting system also inform parents and guardians of students on the progress of their wards. So likewise, grades and reports communicate objectives to parents so they can help promote learning, and likewise, communicate how well objectives were met so parents can better plan. So pag may di ba, from the word report to parents, so sasabihan mo yung mga parents, like for example, di ba, halimbawa, doon tayo sa bad side. Di ba meron tayong mga student talaga na mga bugoy, mga salbahe, let's say salbahe, okay, meron tayong ganun. So, di ba minsan pinapatawag yung parents para malaman nila kung ano yung ginagawa ng student nila, kung nag-aaral ba sila na maayos. So that's the report sa parents. Yun yung bad way. And a good way naman is like for example, magaling yung bata, tapos yung teacher pinapunta yung parents dun sa kanila, like sabihin niya ba, kasi meron talaga akong napanood nito na movie like ganun, tapos pinabihan niya na bakit dito mo pinaaral yung anak mo, yung magaling naman siya, tapos ganyan-ganyan, mga ganyan-ganyan. So yeah, you should always communicate to the parents or the guardians of the students. So the third one is administrative and guidance uses. So the administrative and guidance purposes of grading and reporting consist in helping to decide promotion, graduation, honors, athletic eligibility. So that's one, the first one. So the next one is reporting achievements to other schools or to employers. And the third one is providing input for realistic educational, vocational, and personal counseling. So that is the functions of grading and reporting system. So let's proceed to the components of a grading system by Arishan and Russell 2008. So the first one is the standards of comparison. So dito sa standards of comparison, so ito na yung standards na sinusunod natin in the grading system. Like dito na yung norm reference grading, the criterion reference grading, and the learning potential or self-reference. So, dyan natin kumbaga may standard tayong sinusunod. And the second one is the aspect of performance. So, dito sa aspect of performance, ito na yung kumbaga ginagawa during the class. Like for example, oral recitation, if ever na maganda yung sagot niya, if ever na tama yung sagot niya, you will grade them as perfect or lower than perfect. So that is the aspect of performance, yung ginagawa natin like test, oral, reports, projects, portfolios, and so on. So the third one is weighting the different kind of evidence. So this refers to how much weight is given to the different aspect or different aspect or what do you call these components of a student's grade. So okay, so let's see let's see this illustration, which is the weight of the components of grades 1 to 10. So grade 1 hanggang 2 hanggang sa grade 10. So this is the components, which is the written work, performance task, and quarterly exam. So sa language, AP at saka ESP is meron tayong 30%. Sa written work, then performance task is 50%, then the quarterly exam is 20%. So yan yung sinusunod natin sa language, AP at saka ESP sa grade 1 hanggang sa grade 10. So the science and math is 40% in the written work, 40% in the performance task, and 20% for the quarterly exam. And MAPE and TLE, which is dito na yung mga vocational at TLE, and EPP like sa elementary, so we have 20% for written work, 60% for performance task, and 20% for quarterly exam. And we also have the weight of the components for senior high school. So we have also the written work, performance task, and quarterly exam. So the core subject is 25%, 50% for performance task, and quarterly exam 25%. And we have also this academic track, which is all other subject is 25%, 45% in the performance task, and 30% for the quarterly exam. So we also have in the academic track the work immersion, research, business enterprise, simulation, exhibit performance. We have 35% for the written work, 40% for the performance task, and 25% for quarterly exam. And we also have the TVL, art, sport, and designing track. So we also have a 20% for the written work, both all other subject and work immersions, research, business enterprise, simulation. We also have performance task in 60%, both all other subject and all work immersion, research, and so on. And also in a quarterly exam, we have 20% in both all other subject and the work immersions. So that is the weight of weight of the components of the senior high school and the grade 1 to grade 10. So let's proceed to the some pointers in communicating assessment results. So we have first to establish learning outcomes related to what we are assessing. So in this first one is so yeah, we need to establish learning outcomes related to the what we are assessing. So we need to make sure that our objectives, yes, the learning outcomes is kumbaga nami-meet nung pag-assess natin ang learning outcomes na ni-establish natin. So yeah, dapat hindi siya humiwalay, like for example sa lesson plan. So di ba we have the objective. So yung objective dapat align sa evaluation. So parang ganun. So hindi dapat siya pwedeng dapat konektado talaga siya. So the next one is document the process we use to assess the outcomes. So we need to remember, or we need to document kung ano yung process na ginawa natin sa pag-assess ng mga data or the outcomes of the students, or the outcome scores, the measurement, and so on. So we need to document the process so that we have the evidence, no? So the third one is tie the results back to our learning outcomes to communicate whether the program or service worked as we intended. So yeah, so we need to tie the result back to our learning outcomes. So the fourth one is take note of decisions made as a result of assessment process. So, diba, nagdo-document tayo. So, in the last part, we need to take note of decisions. Like, dapat meron talaga tayong, kumaga, evidence. So, ganun. So, the next one is giving feedback to the students and parents after assessments. So, marami tayong pwedeng ways, no? Para magbigay ng feedback sa mga estudyante at saka parents after assessments. Like, okay, let's first time is a cliche which works effectively is to open session with a positive feedback. So you will just praise them, no? Like yung para ma-motivate good sila, like ganun. Like for example, may nag-oral and kahit mali yun, I mean, kahit naman na hindi na connect yung ano, you don't wag mo silang i-down. You still need a positive feedback like, oh, it can be parang ganyan. So, yeah, good job, parang ganyan. Although you're not telling them na they're correct, as long as you give feedback, a positive feedback. So, also, you should know the expectation of the student or parents from the feedback session. It acts as a compass for the teacher as assessor. So yeah, that's right. And also be very specific and stick to the predefined parameters or competences to make reference, like cite examples whenever possible to help the students or parents understand better, and also involve the student and parent. And feedback has to be a dialogue, no, and not a monologue, which means that the student or parents should be given an opportunity to discuss students or parents aspirations, motivations, and experience of the assessment. Also, we need to be patient, no, and display great listening skills. Yeah, that's important. And also to create the required trust and rapport with the students or the parents. Also, we need to allow them, no, to explain the intent behind of their actions and differing opinion whenever appropriate, and also refrain from passing a judgmental statement. Yes, that is true, which is dapat talagang iwasan natin yun, and your statements have to be suggestive rather than stated as absolute truths. So we have the feedback provider has to remember that feedback is also a mechanism to learn for people. So let us make a reference, no, to the Johari window given below. So yeah, ayan, makikita natin, no, we have the four quadrant, which is the the aware of strength, the unaware of strength, unaware of area of development, and aware of area of development. So makikita lang natin, konti lang naman yung pagkakaiba. So we also have the low self-awareness and high. So low competence, so dito na side is ayan, low competence with high, tas dito low self-awareness high. So yeah, pwede natin gamitin to as a reference in giving feedback, no, in giving feedback to the students and the parents after the assessment. So let's proceed to the reporting students progress and grades to parents. So the first one is the report card. So it is a standard method of reporting students' progress and grades to parents. So ang report card is ito yung magsisilbing kumbaga nandito na yung evaluation. nandito na yung evaluation. Ito yung magsisilbing, what do you call this? Magsisilbing evidence na nag-aral ka ng mabuti or hindi. So, yeah. Kasi makikita natin dito kung mataas ba yung grade mo, mababa yung grade mo, pumasa ka ba o hindi. And also, meron tayong sinusunod dito yung mga uh, outstanding, very satisfactory, fairly satisfactory, or did not meet expectations. So, yan yung mga descriptions ng grading scale natin. Like, for example, pag grade natin, kasi meron kasi tatlo yan. Like, okay, na-discuss ko yung descriptors, then grading scale, and the remarks, which is yung remarks is, ito yung nagpapakita kung pumasa ka ba o hindi. So, let's say, ang grade, ay yung grading scale mo is nakapasok sa 85 to 89. So, that is VS. So, the VS is very satisfactory. Kasi meron tayong apat kasi, I know, 5, which is outstanding, very satisfactory, fairly satisfactory, and did not met expectations, which is yun na yung bagsak, like below 75. Kasi sa DepEd is pag 75 ka, hindi na, kahit hindi sa DepEd, sa ano pa rin sa CHED, no? Pag 75 below ka, you will be marked as failed. You will remark as failed. Kasi nga, ang pasadong grade natin sa DepEd and CHED is 75 above. So, yeah, that's it. So, the next one is the written progress reports. So, this can be weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly reports of the student's progress and achievement by Macmillan 2007. So, these written reports may include the student's performance, no, on tests and quizzes, projects, oral reports. So, they can include information about the student's motivation, cooperation, and behavior, as well as suggestions for how parents can be helped the students improve their performance. So, hindi ko na-experience to, no? Like, nung nag-aaral ako, hindi ko talaga to na-experience. But then, it was also one of the, what do you call this? One of the important kasi, dito natin malalaman kung yung mga ginagawa natin by may progress. Kasi it's also have a form. Kung makikita mo doon yung kumbaga you are naga-stay sa task, naga-follow ng instructions. So yeah, like teacher ang gagawa nito, like malalaman mo talaga kung nag-aaral ka ng mabuti o hindi. So it is also like it's also like a report card, pero dito is can be pwede natin tong makita every week, unlike sa report card na nakikita lang natin ito at the end of the semester or at the end of the period. Yeah. So the next one is the Parental Teacher Conference. So Durham 2006 asserts that parent-teacher conference are both a responsibility and an opportunity. So in this reporting students' progress, no, this is one of the really important. Kasi like dapat talaga is may connection ang teacher natin at saka yung parents natin or guardian or nag-aalaga sa atin. Kasi if ever na wala silang connection, wala yung kumbaga hindi nyo mabibuild or ma-develop yung bata. Kasi yung parents kasi is the primary responsibility of parents, no? And the teacher is nag-assess lang din. Kasi mauna talaga yung parents na mag-educate sa bata bago nag-assist lang yung kumbaga nagba-back up lang yung teachers. Kasi at the first place, 'di ba? Bago natin pinapaaral ang anak natin is pag nasa tamang edad na. Like for example, sa grade 1 dapat 6 years old ka. So imagine the 5 years ko, no? The 5 years na hindi siya, nandun lang siya sa bahay. So, dapat na-guide mo na siya kung ano yung tama at mali. Then, pagdating ng grade 1, so yeah, magpa-back up lang yung teacher na i-develop yung student. So, dapat meron talagang conference or connection ng parents or guardians and the teachers. So, that's all, and thank you so much for listening. I hope you understand and you hope you learn something about this video. Thank you so much.